Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little test review for question number 2 off of your most recent test. This is for students who need to get a little extra help on this. What the question we're covering is earthquakes and volcanoes are not evenly distributed across the globe, but rather tend to occur in clusters in certain parts of the world. Explain what is unique to these parts of the world and why earthquakes and volcanoes favor these places over others. What are we talking about? We're talking about right here, the Ring of Fire. See, here's the continental U.S., that's you in Ohio, this is Australia, China, Japan. So we're talking about this area here, this plate called the Pacific Plate. Around it is this area is what we call the Ring of Fire. Why is it called the Ring of Fire? Because there's an extreme amount of volcano and earthquake activity on here. So the question we need to answer at that as 8th grade students is, why does this happen? What happens on the Ring of Fire? The Pacific Plate is what's called an oceanic plate. What are the characteristics of oceanic plates? They are typically very thin plates, okay? They're thin plates. What happens is, if we look back here, this thin oceanic plate is surrounded by a continental plate, continental plate, continental plate, whoa, continental plate. So it's surrounded by continental plates. So when oceanic plates interact with continental plates, what we get is we get subduction on either side. We get subduction on the entire Ring of Fire. What happens in subduction is when you have these thin oceanic plates running into continental plates, you get an extreme amount of friction. That friction melts the magma and can cause volcanic eruptions. Also, that tension can create friction between the boundaries. When you get friction between boundaries, then you also get okay, I figure out how to zoom out. Unzoom. I'm going to go up to my computer and unzoom this. So what happens is there's not just convergent boundaries, the boundaries running into each other. On some of these boundaries we get what's called transform boundaries. And transform boundaries that move alongside each other can cause, what is that called? What are those things called when there's extreme amount of pressure, rapidly released energy? That is called a earthquake. So along the transform boundaries, you get heavy amounts of earthquakes. Think about the coast of California. Does California have either A, earthquakes, or B, volcanoes? A, earthquakes, no volcanoes. Earthquakes up here, transform boundary. Out here, you've got them collided together, volcanoes, volcanoes, volcanoes. You've got volcanoes all around here. You've got Hawaiian Islands. Hawaiian Islands are not on the edge of a boundary. They are not created by continental and oceanic plates. Those are created by what are called hot spots. You get a hot convection currents underneath the mantle, create hot spots. You have eruptions and slow forming of shield volcanoes, which then turn into Hawaii. Is that a complete answer? Yes. That would also take you about 12 minutes to write it out. What you should be focusing on is the interaction between continental and oceanic plates and convergent boundaries and transform boundaries. That is what we call the satisfactory answer or a 4-point answer to your test.